I am your host, Ashira Nelson, and this is Forum 360, where we have a global outlook from a local view. My guest today is entrepreneur Dashika Streak. Ms. Streak have owned numerous successful businesses, including Vineworks Marketing, Babe Magazine, and now her new endeavor, Project So United. Mrs. Street impressed me because as an entrepreneur, she didn't allow COVID to stop her. I watched her on social media as she maneuvered through the pandemic with creativity and tenacity. Hello, Mrs. Street.
Good morning.
Thanks for having you today.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
I'm excited too. So I love to just jump right in.
Okay.
With all the fabulousness and all the great things we have here today. So let's start by telling me a little bit about yourself.
Okay, so like you said, I am basically a serial entrepreneur.
Okay.
I own a marketing firm, Vineworks Marketing. I also started an empowerment magazine for entrepreneurs, Babe Magazine, which stands for Black and Brilliant Entrepreneur. And it's basically a resource publication to provide resources and materials to women interested in starting or operating their own business. Lately, though, I started Project So United, which has just been really a testament of just my perseverance and my faith. There's been so many things just kind of happening around us globally.
Yes.
And locally, to where I wanted to be able to do something to help cover people. And this was, sewing is kind of something I've always done and always had the opportunity to fall back on. And so I said, well, I'm gonna go to my sewing machine and go to work.
Okay. So what made you transition into Project So United from the marketing and the magazine?
So about a year and a half ago, I became pregnant with my youngest child. And during that time, I was growing and glowing and very tired.
Yeah.
So I kind of peeled back from some of my other efforts as far as entrepreneurship went to focus on nurturing that baby that was developing and just kind of taking rest. And so I started sewing. And I took that time to make, baby bows and headbands and things like that. And I said, this is what I'm gonna do while I, figure the rest out, because it was kind of therapeutic for me. And so when I thought I was gonna be returning to business, this past March or so, COVID hit. And I was like, U-turn, I guess that's not happening.
Right, okay.
And so I said, I still got a bunch of leftover material. I know at that time they were suggesting face masks and PPE for essential workers only, but I knew a lot of people in the community around me were looking for the opportunity to purchase masks and things like that. So I said, well, this is what I'm gonna do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you ever consider searching for a new job during that time, or this just naturally felt right?
I did actually. Okay. So back in about February, there was this opportunity at my church that I saw on our church website after a virtual service. Okay. And I'm like, man, I really think that I could be a great blessing in this opportunity. I also think it could be really fruitful for my spirit and things like that as well. So let me go for this. And so I applied for it. And we were on a straight, smooth and awesome track in the interview process. And then again, COVID hit. And I got the email that said, hey, we're really excited for you. We're so sorry to tell you, though, that we're on a hiring freeze. I was like, okay. And so I just continued to sew. I prayed about it and asked, how can I serve? How can I still serve during this time? And it was Project So United is kind of where I was led.
Nice.
Yeah.
So where did you learn to sew?
Oh my goodness. So I've been sewing since I was about 8 years old. Okay. And I had a friend who lived down the street from me, neighborhood friend. We used to play all the time. One day I went over her house to play. She lived with her grandmother, and her grandma was in the basement sewing. And we were down there playing Barbies or whatever, and I was more interested in watching her grandma sew. And before you knew it, I would go over there all the time to watch, to play with her, but to watch her grandma sew. And I just kind of started from there, making baby doll clothes and things like that. And
wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I remember being in home economics in grade school, trying to figure it out, but never could get the hang of it. So that's awesome. So with COVID, COVID-19 striking, what made you want to do face masks as like your number one thing you kind of was promoting?
Yeah, I saw it as the quickest way to help cover people.
Okay.
Everyone was so concerned about being able to be protected, to feel like they had some sort of protection. It was a very vulnerable, and still is, a very vulnerable time. And it's just a small thing that means so much and can kind of make or break a situation, whether that's hugging a loved one, attending something during times where we can. All the ins and outs of that. But just having that face mask was something that I feel everybody felt that it gave them a sense of security and comfort and safety during COVID.
Yeah, absolutely. And yours are so stylish.
Thank you.
So it makes it even better. Was any other part of your life affected by COVID?
Yeah, actually, very unfortunately, we lost my husband's father, so my father-in-law, during, so we lost him
was it due to
during
COVID
this
or
pandemic.
just during the time?
Well, when he passed, one of the kind of things that they did as just protocol was to test for COVID.
Okay.
And so they did find that. We can't necessarily say that he passed from COVID, but we do know it was present at the time. So that was very unfortunate, as well as a lot of friends and their loved ones around me experienced some losses and things like that. But as outside of the loss of loved ones and close relationships, I've just really learned to hold my family closer, to really appreciate the here and now.
Absolutely.
And to appreciate, just having the opportunity to hug and embrace and sit face to face and shoulder to shoulder.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So with all the new demand going on, how are you keeping up with demand with all your new products?
So I learned very quickly with Project So United. We're talking like week 2 that it was a task much bigger than myself.
Okay.
And at this time, I had my daughter was managing my Facebook exclusively.
Really?
My husband was managing my inbox on Facebook, and he is a zero social media guy. So for him to be, my inbox concierge, so to speak, was huge, and I began enlisting help of sewists around me. So I put kind of a call out, hey, I need some help. If anybody has experience sewing,
wow. And did you put that on social media or send out texts to your loved ones?
I put it on social media.
Okay.
I got a couple hits here and there, and then I also sent texts out to my loved ones.
Nice.
So very fortunately, I was able to bring on about 3 sewists just like that.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was, it was amazing because we built like this kind of ecosystem where I'm purchasing the fabrics and, selecting all the different prints and things like that. I'm cutting them. I'm putting bundles of supplies together.
Wow.
And they would pick up these packets of supplies and instructions off of my enclosed porch, contactless pickup.
Oh my God.
And then they would, a week or so later would deliver the mask back. And so it's
amazing.
Yeah.
That is awesome. So, wow.
Yeah.
So this is a new work at home or work from home opportunity for these different women, I'm assuming.
It absolutely is. And I'm so grateful to have had the opportunity to have built a training program that's virtual and written. It's been completely contactless. But most importantly, the women that are helping with this effort and working beside me, as I like to say, figuratively, of course, they are women who've been impacted one way or another by COVID. So whether it's job loss or whether it's, an entrepreneur herself who had to step away from her business because it was very hands-on and things like that. And so it's been an amazing way to create sustainable income and to help, provide fluidity through that family and so forth while, sewing into others, into the community. So it's been really amazing.
That's awesome. Can you tell us a little more about the training, how you kind of got these women prepared?
So I found a few YouTube videos that had tutorials of, the process were similar to my process.
Okay.
And then I did written instructions as well. And I'm like, okay, you're going to watch this video until minute whatever. And then you're going to jump in here. And then as time went on, I was able to completely write out the process. And I don't know where this skill came from, but I had to like make digital diagrams and so forth.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
all through COVID, like
all through COVID.
wow.
All through COVID. It's been
Pandemic is
incredible.
going on, and you're just maneuvering.
Just maneuvering.
Wow, that's awesome. So as the women are affected by COVID in many different ways, how would you say you were able to still build relationships? You know, because you're not seeing them. You're working side by side, but you don't have the opportunity to work like in an office space. Do you still feel like you were able to make connections during this time?
Absolutely. It's interesting because, again, going back to these women coming out of jobs, some coming out of careers and things like that, stepping into a completely new environment.
Yes.
So you're in this vulnerable space, learning this new skilled trade, not quite sure if you're doing it right or doing it to
Yes.
code, whatever
Oh
that
my
might be. And so there's this great opportunity to be an encourager, which translates not only in that face mask that you're sewing, but you can take that empowerment that you receive and carry it through your household or your daily
Wow.
endeavors. There's an opportunity to be reassuring. You know, no, it's okay. We'll just tweak this here and then we got it, I promise.
Oh.
You know, don't worry about it. I've done that too. And there's that humanizing impact also. I've been there. I've done it. I've been sewing for years, but I've made all of those same mistakes in this project.
Yes.
You know, we're talking a face mask versus a garment. And so just being able to be on the same level and no matter what the skill level is, finding common ground and nurturing that way, I think is really important, especially now.
Awesome, awesome. What are all the items that you sell through Project Sew United?
My goodness. So we have expanded. So we started off as a baby bow making hobby and it wasn't even Project Sew United at that time, but it was just kind of my thing to do during pregnancy. And then coming into COVID, we started with the face masks, of course. And shortly after that, we landed an amazing contract with the Summit County Health Department as their exclusive face mask provider.
Exclusive?
Exclusive.
Oh my God.
And so we now our masks are CDC approved. They're 3 layers, so we still make those.
Wow.
And we've refined the process and things like that. In addition to that, we make handbags, we make breastfeeding covers, which double as just beautiful.
Need one soon.
Yes, you may. They just double as beautiful tops. You'd be surprised like how many of the customers that purchase those are not pregnant, don't have children, or whose children are grown and out of the house. They're like, I just need it because it's beautiful. We make bangles and other jewelry pieces, all handmade, which I'm wearing some now. And then tops like this.
Okay. So you have on a top from your line?
So I have on a top from my line.
Very nice.
Yes, and we are working on a couple other designs that we'll be rolling out soon as well.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. So I am your host, Ashira Nelson, and this is Forum 360. And today my guest is Dashika Street. So can you tell us a little more about all the items you brought here today?
Absolutely. So, like I said, coming into COVID, we started with face masks. And we have Project Sew United. We really work to infuse global prints in a trendy way. We want something that sparks conversation.
Yes.
That speaks to heritage.
And these are super trendy.
Right?
Like, love these.
We wanted bold colors. We wanted something that would make women, or men, and men, I should say, feel beautiful, feel bold, feel protected, of course, but also have a statement piece with whatever they're wearing. So we kind of call our face masks accessories.
Okay.
Because they are.
I definitely agree with that.
Yes. And then, of course, we make handbags, some of which you can see here, and they're all handmade. Again, we're translating those bold prints.
Wow, these are handmade?
Those are all handmade.
Very nice.
And translating those bold prints and designs that, again, spark conversation and accentuate any ensemble.
Wow.
And then, of course, to go with those, you have to have your bangles.
Of course, but you have some on.
I have some on now, as well as earrings.
Yes.
And we're still making the baby hair bows and things like that.
And
so
that's where it all started.
And this is where it all started. And they're clip-ins, so they're protective. They don't pull on the hair or anything like that. Then they add a nice pop of color.
So how do you go about picking the fabric for the different items?
First off, I go with what speaks to me.
Okay.
Is it bold? Is it striking? Do those colors pop? are those colors I could see many people wearing. And then I go with the print. Is it something that I think will look good on something as small as a face mask or a hair bow? You know, how does the actual design translate when it's actually sewn or constructed into the garment or accessory that it's planned to be? And then I just kind of go from there. I make the purchase, and then I put it out there, and I'm like, we scored.
Right.
They like it, so we're headed in the right direction.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
And you have items for women, men, or do you have any for like children? Aside from the bows, do you offer like the mask in different sizes?
We do. So we sell, our face masks are from sizes 3 or H3 up to H10. So they're sold in kind of brackets, up to 3, 4 to 6, and then 7 to 10.
Oh, okay.
And then we have adult masks, so women and men. We have solids as well, and some more muted prints for those who don't go towards all the bold, striking prints. And in addition to that, we have the baby bows, of course, for the little girls.
Okay. What would you say is your most popular item?
My most popular item, of course, by far right now, because of demand in our current environment, is the face mask.
Face mask, okay.
But a close second would be our nursing covers, so those breastfeeding tops.
Yes.
And we have not yet rolled out our handbags, so this is our actually our first public display. And we've shared them a little bit on social media, but we're going to be launching them soon on the actual website.
Okay.
Yep.
Glad to be the first one to show them. So can we dive into the partnerships you established during the pandemic a little more?
Yeah. So again, the partnership with with Summit County Health Department was fantastic. It was an opportunity to make sure we were on the right track with the design and efficacy of our face masks.
So did they jump in with recommendations or any tips?
They asked, prior to that, we were making them 2 layers with a pocket for a filter. They asked for them to be 3 layers with the filter built in. We jumped on it, figured out a way to design it and engineer, and said no problem. And so that was amazing, because then we were able to transform the rest of our face mask product offerings.
Wow.
Which has really proven to be a great kind of pivot. That opportunity led to another opportunity with Greenleaf Family Center. And those opportunities together are representative of several community distribution centers. So you have like Summit County WIC, I think Moms and Babies First, and all kinds of other satellite locations where you can pick up a mask at no charge. And it's part of the Mask for Moms initiative.
Wow, and this is all at no charge.
This is all at no charge.
Wow.
Yep.
So you ladies are really working hard and like having an impact on your community.
We've created thousands of masks for this effort. It's really been incredible. And men and women, the program or the initiative is Masks for Moms, but men and women can pick up masks. There are masculine prints and feminine prints, and some that are unisex as well. And like I said, they're all these various locations throughout the county. You can go, no questions asked, just, hey, I need a face mask. Or if you're going in for an appointment to perhaps see your therapist or stop in your doctor's office and things like that.
Wow, you can just stop by and pick up a mask.
Yeah, they now have masks available for their, their patients and things like that through this effort.
Nice. Very nice, because most of the time they're like, you need to have it when you come in the building, but they're providing these services or these masks to their patients.
Absolutely, so that there are fewer barriers to entry.
Yes, very nice. I always hate when I forget to put my mask on or I leave it at home. So it's nice to know that there are people or organizations thinking ahead, like everybody might not have one.
Absolutely.
So that is awesome. What are the different ways you sell your products?
So primarily we sell our products online. So that's at projectsounited.com, SEW. And we also sell through partnerships, of course, so like Summit County Public Health and things like that, and those are kind of one-off opportunities. And we sell through private partnerships as well. So we've sold to corporations and things like that are looking for masks for their employees, as well as other organizations throughout the area. And we actually sell nationwide, including Hawaii, which we're really excited about.
Wow, okay, so tell us about all the different states and locations.
We are currently selling in about 45 states.
That is
which
amazing.
includes Hawaii.
Just,
Yeah,
it's a little kid from Akron.
just a kid from Akron who literally started this thing just out of seeing a need and wanting to provide a covering.
Wow.
And, you know, it just kind of snowballing from there into something so much bigger than me, but something that I've been able to bring so many others into the fold of, and creating just that sustainability and encouragement and revenue stream and things like that during such a vulnerable time.
Yes, a very hard time for everybody.
Yeah.
So how many independent contractors do you currently have on staff?
So currently I have one who works almost full-time, as
Okay.
full-time as full-time gets right now. I have 2 on standby, so when orders peak, they jump back in. And then I am potentially seeking to bring one of those on more full-time to help with the nursing tops and things like that, because we're working on a
Wow.
couple partnerships.
So
That-
that's roughly about 5 people with their hands in, making an impact on all these different states and companies.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely.
I mean, you are really doing a lot with the people you have on hand.
Yeah.
That's impressive, like very impressive. With your marketing background, what are some ways that you help market Project So United? Because I would say you got my attention on social media.
It's so incredible. I have not put any paid advertisement to work. I've done
Okay.
0 ads and things like that. I've just used kind of some of the skills that I've already had. Again, I diverted some of my efforts from my marketing business and serving clients and things like that so I can focus 100% on this effort,
Okay.
which freed up a lot of time to be able to put together. I built my website myself.
Okay.
All of my social media, planning, design of content and things like that, I do all of that myself.
Wow.
Thinking about the concept, what the background of the pictures need to
With
be
a new
like.
baby.
With a new baby. Often sitting on my lap or on my hip while I'm trying to snap a picture or while I'm sewing a face mask and
Yes.
things like that. But even that, I think, is very important to have the ability to show my children that even in such a turbulent time where you can't go to school, you can't play sports, you can't go and, you know, kick a ball with a neighbor, you can be resilient and you can still help your
Absolutely.
community and you can still do something that makes such a great impact on so many people other than just you, you know, and really experience and kind of take all that in. I think that far outweighs the restrictions that we have right now.
Any tips for other businesses who are struggling in an area of marketing?
Work with what you have first.
Okay.
Work with what you have. Make it shine. Choose, you know, a clear spot on your dining room table if that's all you have to work
Yes.
with. Position it in front of a window, you know, so you can get naturally lit photos. Think about what you want your customer to see, to feel, to taste, to hear, or what memories you want to kind of surge up when they're looking at your products, and try to position your items in such a way that it would make you yourself feel that, think that, remember that, and so forth, or crave that. And I think when we personalize our brands in that way, it speaks volumes and it naturally becomes irresistible to our target customer.
Yes, great tips, great tips. What other skills are you using from VineWorks Marketing and Babe Magazine to grow this business?
So skills from Babe Magazine, written, how I write my
yes.
social media posts, how I put together product catalogs for some of the contracts we're working on, the pictures that we would put into those catalogs or the pictures that we would display on social media, what that needs to look like and feel like. What's the actual texture of the brand? Like if you could touch it and feel it, what does that feel like and how can I translate that through everything that I do? The words that I use, like simply thinking about the actual words that I use when I make a post, and when I'm speaking about the brand too. And then from VineWorks Marketing, networking, talking to others, being comfortable talking to people, showing them something that they can't necessarily see, you know, but expressing what the brand is about, what the products do, how important they are, how sought after they are, how irresistible they are, and how you
Absolutely.
should definitely partake and be a partner with us.
Yes. So what's next for Project So United?
So for Project So United, like I mentioned earlier, we recently released our Flow Tops. That's our breastfeeding covers, which is a beautiful, flowy, strikingly bold and beautiful top that women wear. But they're also discreet. So when you're breastfeeding, you're not wearing something that also doubles as a car seat cover.
Yeah.
And so we're looking to continue to close partnerships with organizations that would have them in hospital gift shops, for example, nursing centers throughout the country, breastfeeding centers, and birthing centers.
Very nice, very nice. How can our viewers reach you to shop?
So we can be reached online,
Okay.
projectsounited.com. That's Project SEW United.com. Also on social media at Project So United, also SEW United. And so we're active on Facebook, Instagram, and of course our website.
Okay. One final question that I like
Sure.
to ask all of my guests. What would you like to be remembered for?
I would like to be remembered for being a woman who persevered, even during some of the most turbulent times, found a way.
Okay. Well, guys, I am your host, Ashira Nelson, and this is Project So United as my guest today, and this is Forum 360, where we have a global outlook from a local view. Thanks for joining us.